I reckon, without exaggerating, there's been at least 50 episodes where you've mentioned how much you hate the beach. Hello everyone, welcome to The Deep Drop. This is a fishing podcast. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Luke McCredden and this is my good friend Adam Ring. Adam, to everyone out there, whether they're new or they've been listening for quite a while or they've somehow stumbled across it with no idea what they're about to listen to, please explain.
The Deep Drop podcast is like a loaded tackle bag.
Yeah.
You know it's there and you know you want to open it. And it could be filled with weird and wonderful things. Some things you're not that into anymore. Some things you can't believe you haven't been using all this time.
Yeah.
Kind of like our podcast. You never know what you're going to find with each episode.
Yep.
Some of it's just going to be downright silly.
Yeah.
Some of it might have 1 or 2% fact in it, and you might learn something. So
That's pretty
I think
good.
The pod's like a full tackle bag.
That's pretty good, and it's kind of like there might be some gold in there that you've, like you said, you've forgotten about, and after all these years it resurfaces and you might tie it on and catch a fish. Who knows?
PBs might be in it. You just don't know.
I like it. Okay, well, good. Well, thank you for that, and thank you everyone for tuning in. It's another week. We're sort of getting towards the end of daylight savings for anyone listening that is affected by daylight savings in the southern part of the country, which is, I don't know how I feel about it. It's always like we love daylight savings ads, but then when it comes to an end, we're kind of like, well, the days don't really know what they're doing at the moment anyway, so let's just wrap it up.
And I think that's perfect. The perfect way to sum it up, because you get up in the morning now, it's still dark. That doesn't feel right.
No.
It's starting to get darker a little bit earlier, which sucks, but at the same time, we've had a really good run and we've had a pretty good season actually. So we're probably due.
Yeah.
But I guess the bigger question, and this isn't even part of the pod, it just dawned on me. Why do we even have it? Why don't we just leave it on?
I don't know.
Why don't we leave it on?
Yeah, just leave the light on. Yeah. I don't know. I don't get it. Never have. Never will.
No, but you know what? We get daylight savings, so to everyone who doesn't, eat shit.
Pretty much. Thank you again, everyone, for getting involved this week on the socials. We've had some great feedback and interaction across TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube ads. It's we've got a couple of crowd favourites out there at the moment, which seems to be the top 6.
It's a good time.
Yeah, it's good fun. We had some interesting boat name additions when we called out our top 6 funny boat names. So hats off to everyone for coming back with those. Still wouldn't mind seeing some photos of someone putting a new name on. Like they've just got a new hull and they're ready to name it.
I love that. Especially if it's a little bit funny.
A little bit funky. So yes, please get in touch. Anyway, how? Just join the fun. Join the community. The Deep Drop on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Head over to the website, thedeepdrop.au. Now, you'll find all the episodes and bits and pieces. You'll find also, Adam, I'm just touching my hat here, because you have come prepared tonight in the same hat that I'm wearing, which is available on the website.
Correct. Head on over to thedeepdrop.au, because this is the merch that makes every occasion the best occasion. If you're not sure what to wear or what to do, you need to slip on a Deep Drop cap and take a bright green stubby holder in your pocket, and you're automatically in for the best occasion of your life. It's proven. It's 100% fact. I've spoken about it a lot over the last few weeks, and I still stand by it. Luke, back me up on this one.
No, I couldn't agree more. I think that's the best combo. We've spoken about combos. We're still not sure. We might submit it to the best product in show awards at AFTA this year.
It'd be a bit unfair on everyone else, though. No one else will get a look in.
That's the thing. No. Dio or Shimano, they won't. The combos just won't match up to the Deep Drop
It won't matter at all.
Stubby holder combo. It is significantly better than everything in the world. And we'll cover the post. So jump online, head over to the shop there and grab yourself one of these combos. Ads, I didn't realize this is the first time I think we've both rocked the cap at the same time.
Cap.
This isn't pre sort of planned or anything.
It's just a comfortable cap.
It's a comfy cap.
And couldn't be bothered doing the old hair this morning or what's left of it, so I put a cap on.
Fair enough. I love it. But thank you everyone for supporting the podcast by picking up some merch. We really appreciate it, and it's great to see some of the brand out there and getting repped by you guys. So thank you very much. And look forward to seeing more of those caps in situ Adam, in situ.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I like that.
Now, the stubby holder, which is part of that combo, features almost in its own segment these days, doesn't it?
Does.
Which
Just making every drink the best drink.
well, and the drink that is appearing in said stubby holder most weeks, I mean, there's some situations we can't, it might be a wine glass or something like that, although we could squeeze it in, is, of course, drink of the week. And that is where we're at now, Adam. So I'm going to, before I throw to you to sort of open up and get stuck into drink of the week, we did the call out. We said, what should we have a look at? Last week was a bit of a debacle, but we got there in the end with a Guinness that sort of went everywhere. Yeah. Hey, I got some positive feedback on that they said it wasn't bad.
Oh, not yeah.
Yeah.
I thought we did okay, considering.
They said they've seen worse.
Just amateur Guinness drinkers.
They said they've seen worse. I needed more head. I said that at the time, though. I didn't feel like enough
You
head.
did. You called it.
But it came up all right. So Silly String Fling has suggested the Bilson's Fruit Tingle. So a complete...
It's exactly what I'm rocking tonight, Luke.
Look
Check
at that.
out that can. That is
That's a loud
funky can. That will be hidden in a bright green stubby holder in a matter of seconds. I've never had one of these, so I'd be very keen to get stuck into that and see how that goes throughout the show.
Yeah, good. And we've gone a bit funky two ways tonight. We've decided to go, you've gone that way. I've gone with a suggestion from Instagram from Daniel Hall on the Brookvale Union vodka. So there's my little bad boy just there. It's a vodka.
Sweet can.
It is a really cool can, actually. So that is going to slide in as we speak to the deep drop stubby holder. Oh, yes.
Oh, this doesn't. Oh, this is an awkward shape.
Is yours a bit thin? Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I think Bilson's are going to have to address that because if they want to have the best, if they want the best drink in the business, it's got to fit in the best stubby holder in the business.
That's a really good call, actually.
Might have to flick him a one pager on some suggestions for the future. I think.
Are we ready to? I'm gonna ready.
Cracking.
Yep. Oh,
Good crack.
wow.
Ooh.
Oh, sweet. How's the fruit tingle? Fruity?
Luke, there's a party in my mouth and everyone's invited. That actually tastes and smells exactly like a fruit. When's the last time you had a fruit tingle? Lolly.
I can't tell you, but geez, they were a good lolly.
I've got a 10-year-old that's obsessed with them.
Oh, so they're still around.
Still around,
I'm gonna
and
go get a
that
pack.
tastes exactly like it.
What I didn't realise was this is a red pub soda flavour. And Adam, I'm immediately sent back to being, dragged along to the pub by the mum and dad.
Yeah.
And having a pub. Well, what did they call it? A red lemonade.
Just a red creamy. Is it like
creamy soda? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it tastes like that.
It tastes
just with
exactly
a bit of a buzz.
like that. I'm not even sure there's vodka in it. No, there is. It says it on the can. But no, it's good.
Oh, well.
I'm not sure how many you could have.
Well, it's the same with this. Let's see how much I get through this can.
Anyway.
'Cause it's nice, but she's got a bit on.
So thank you, everyone. Thank you guys for those suggestions. And there were more. Someone suggested Guinness. Come on, give me a break. I thought I did it right. I know that was a piss take. Come on.
We'll wait till St. Patrick's Day next year.
Yeah, we'll give it another run. You're up this time.
Try not to explode the can on entry.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, you mentioned just before ads, and I wanted to kick off the show tonight with you said something about seasons. The seasons changing with daylight savings, etc.
Yeah.
We actually are really in a transitional sort of stage right now, aren't we? Like everything feels different. The weather's cooling slightly. Like we still have some beautiful warm days down south and all around the country. Although Queensland, as we speak, are just copping more and more rain. It's unbelievable at the moment. But for the southern part of the country, it's certainly feeling like that shift in season. And there's something that's not celebrated enough. And I know this is a bit niche, but our friends in the West, and we know we've got listeners in WA, so massive shout out to you guys over there. Speaking of seasons, it is absolutely peaking at the minute, right? So this week, as we record this episode, the demersal ban lifts.
Oh, so they're on again.
They're on again, and they've got a couple of solid months of it, maybe 3. And salmon season. Now, I don't know if you've been keeping up to date with the Australian salmon. So obviously this time of year, roughly, right, the salmon follow the cooler currents from the southern part of Australia up WA. And basically that current, and I can't remember the name of the current, will flow quite often close to the coastline and all the way up, right up. But sometimes, some years it doesn't come in very close, so it doesn't give anglers opportunity to get stuck into it. I think, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, it was a fair way out. So it kind of was a bit of a non-existent season. This year, they are well and truly in absolutely casting distance, almost reach out and grab them. They are thick. The schools are massive. They're thick. They're big fish. So I just want to shout out WA tonight because from a seasonal point of view, they are absolutely on top of the world at the minute. It's a bit of a three-part of this one, but I just want to talk about that at the moment because for a band, the demersal ban sucks for everyone over there that loves their demersal fishing, but it's in for a reason, and everyone's kind of got on with it over there from what I've seen. I don't think there's too much, uproar. Obviously, there's disappointment. But so the next little period here is going to be awesome because it'll mean those demersal fish that WA have in droves, like beautiful fish. The WA Dewey, the snapper fishery they've got. Yep. It's so good, and hopefully with these closures and over the next couple of years, that can get back to a point where it's actually, it's on again.
24/7. Yeah,
24/7 sort of thing. But
Yep.
you add into the mix the warm currents out wide with the Spanish mackerel fishery at the moment, further up north, the marlin fishing just going crazy. And then the inshore stuff with salmon and yellowtail kingfish. The last question I've got to this, and I'll throw to you for just your take on the seasonal peak at the minute over there. Is WA one of the best fisheries in the world? And we haven't even spoken about their estuary fishing down south yet.
No.
Honestly,
literally, I think the only thing holding them back would be the close seasons. It'd be the only thing holding them back. But maybe that sort of propels it a little bit because there's the anticipation of an open season.
Maybe. But also probably the only other thing to that is probably the distance. If they were closer to, if they were, a decent, even flying there takes a long time. But, so people from, say, Victoria will take their boats well up into New South Wales and even into Queensland.
That's true.
On a road trip.
They're not driving them over to WA.
They're not doing the Nullarbor drive on it with a boat.
No.
But when you look at it like, when you talk footy and you go, geez, if that player played for a Melbourne club that was really in the spotlight, they'd be one of the, there'd be so much hype around them. It's kind of the same.
Well, I saw some aerial shots of the salmon migration that you're talking about. Incredible.
Unbelievable.
You could just about walk on them. They're that thick. It's just these masses of black cloud. And these fish aren't small. They're not the little 350-gram specials we got swimming around in Port Phillip Bay. These are 3, 4, 5 kilo weapons.
Yeah, beasts. Yeah. They give some of our bluefin a run for their money.
Yeah, that's right. Do you reckon if we had fish of that caliber in Victoria? Now, I remember the glory days of the old surf salmon fishery in my first few years at the tackle shop. It wasn't uncommon to get 3 keggers off the surf beach. If we had fish like, say, Western Australia seeing now pushing through to even some of the South Australian beaches, do you think we'd care about salmon a little bit more in Victoria if we had that calibre of fish?
Maybe. I look, honestly, I genuinely, and I was chatting the other day to Curtis Waterman, who we've had on the podcast before, who is a WA local, and I was saying similar thing. Like, I feel like Australian salmon are kind of like the forgotten, ugly cousin of a supermodel family.
Yeah.
But reality is, they are where a lot of anglers, particularly that are now into sport fishing, it's kind of where you cut your teeth. It's where you learn the art of angling. And I'm not even mucking around. Genuinely, they are the perfect fish to learn the art of sport fishing.
Yep. And you go up onto the south coast of New South Wales, when they get their runs of them, people care. They actively fish for them.
Yeah.
it just doesn't seem to have that level of excitement in Vic. And I don't, because we do get some good fish, especially in the bays. There's probably not so many of those big ones on the back beaches now for some reason, but the bay's full of some really good fish. You go down the entrance of Port Phillip Bay especially, there's some genuine 4 kilo fish cruising around out, not far out there, and we've spoken about how good Australian salmon are on the pod before. That was quite a fair few episodes ago now. You're right. They should be a little bit more... They should generate a little bit more excitement than I think they do. I
think locally too, like if you talk about the sort of Port Phillip heads or the back of Phillip Island, or we know there's some big fish kicking around. If you're going to the effort to go out there, they're not in your top 2 target species, are they? If you're going to the effort to be where you are and putting yourself in those areas, you've got a decent setup. You're going to be chasing kingies or tuna. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. If a big school of salmon blow up just in casting distance from you, you'll probably peg a medal or something at them. But even then, you probably don't have one tied on, or you probably don't have a lighter outfit ready to go. But so I reckon there's a bit of that. It's like, oh yeah, but we're chasing kings. But mate, I love that salmon are so highly celebrated in WA. And like people, and reality is too, that you talk about the scale of these fish, people cast stick baits at them. Like they're not just, and medals will always be the go-to, don't get me wrong. Like, well, but when there's sort of 120, 130 mil stick baits getting tied on to chuck at a salmon, it's a pretty good fishery.
Well, I think maybe that's why we don't appreciate it as much. Maybe because we do associate it with 30 and 40 gram metal slugs. Are they a fish, if there was bigger fish around, if we threw 110, 125 mil topwater pencils obviously it's pretty hard to do that off a surf beach. But, whether you're down at Inverloch, they've got a beautiful big inlet there that's notorious for their big salmon. Port Phillip Bay on any given day, even Western Port. I wonder if we did throw bigger baits, we'd get bigger fish.
Maybe. What's your take on whether or not, just your opinion on with salmon, if you catch a couple of little ones, is it just little ones in the area? Should you move on? Do you know what I mean? Are they one of those
That's
fish?
a great question.
Yeah. Because I kind of think, well, there's 2 ways you could look at it. Like little fish, you've caught 1 or 2, you go, oh, that's probably all that's here. Or little fish, a bigger fish here going to start eating them.
Yeah, it's a great question, and I wish I had a more confident answer because I can think of ways around even contradiction. What my first thought is, generally. Yeah. You'll generally find a school of them and they'll all be of similar sort of size, but have had sessions where, you might be getting stuck into some 600 gram, 700 gram fish. And all of a sudden the next one's 1.5 kilos and it's easily apparent that it's a bigger fish, but I don't know. I think generally speaking, they probably are similar size.
Yeah.
But do you think maybe with a big enough school, you've got different areas of the water column I guess the question...
Or chuck something different.
Does a 500 gram fish feed in the same way as a 2 kilo fish? A little bit older, a little bit wiser, a little bit bigger. If they're rounding up, say they've schooled up a bit of whitebait.
Yep.
And they're pushing them up on the beach or they're balling them up and they're cruising up from the bottom and you can see the bite.
Yeah.
Are the bigger fish being a little bit more calculated? Are they just waiting for the small fish to chop them up and they're picking up some stuff off the bottom? Are they not interested in a whitebait? Are they looking for pilchards? If you can generally find bigger bait, are you going to find bigger salmon?
Potentially. I mean, that makes sense, right? Like,
does.
Yeah. Yeah. A fascinating one. But I guess, we've, and you're right. We have spoken about them and how we'd love them to be a bit more celebrated here, but there's less reason to, and that's no disrespect to the fish themselves. It's just...
You're spot on, though.
Yeah.
It's the reality.
Yeah.
It's the reality.
The other thing is too, and I'm not saying it's easy in any case because it's not, but in WA, like you're casting 10 metres sometimes. Like you don't have to bang it. Like I'm not always. Like there's certainly I would think typically you're having to bang casts out, but like at the moment, some of these schools are in they're pushing so close in that you could be in with the action with a soft plastic outfit. You know what I mean? Not having to cast the soft plastic far, almost unweighted. Like it's unbelievable. But yeah, I just thought we would easily get through the next month or so and not even touch on that WA season, right? That's happening right now, and I can't wait to see some results from the demersal fishing over the next month or two as well. I think it's just such a great place, and in fairness, I probably wouldn't have given it. I don't typically give it much thought, but in the role that I'm in now and having visited there last year, I'm like, far out. Explain to me why I shouldn't move there.
Because it's not on my radar at all. I've never been there, never fished there. Obviously,
we're going.
The stories you brought back last time, unbelievable. I've got to get over there at some point.
Yeah.
But it's just not on our radar here.
It's also not, and again, one trip, I'm hardly an expert, but it's also not easy. Like, it's not an easy, even, again, when I chatted to Curtis the other day, he was on his way up because they had this pocket of weather that was unbelievable. The water out wide from the Abrolhos. So they drove up to Geraldton, the Halco boys, and did the Abrolhos thing and went wide because obviously they couldn't fish inshore or around the islands, demersal. But their plan was going out wide because the water was like, I think, should check the message, maybe over 26 degrees or something, this current pushing down. And it was just stacked with marlin. And I'm like, yeah, okay. But my point, that's a massive trip even for a local. So Perth to Geraldton is, whatever it is, 4 or 5 hours or something. And then another couple of hours, or I think he said they got to the island an hour 20, which means it was pretty calm weather because it fucking wasn't like that when I was there, I'll tell you. But you know what I mean? Like, that's a big session. I mean, but having said that, we'd happily do Burmese when there's a marlin bite. You know what I mean? Which is probably
that's
further
true
than that. But I don't know, man. There's I'd love to go and spend some more time over there, and even fishing the southern part, the south coast. It's got some unbelievable fishing. Like I said, I've never even done any of the estuary stuff over there, but Jesus Christ, like. It's
and
unreal.
no one talks about it.
No one talks about it.
No, because they do have a fairly decent brim and estuary fishery over there, don't they?
Oh yeah,
Jewies, yeah.
Jewies, brim, flatties.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know nothing about WA.
Not many people do.
Nothing.
I don't either. Yeah, I think. I was going to try and just say name some footballers, and I just went blank.
Well, you'd need a lifetime to experience it because it's so vast.
Yeah,
like it's a massive state, and everything is so far apart.
Let's get Kurt back on for a chat.
Yeah,
actually, let's do that mid sort of demersal season.
See how it's going.
Get an
pump
update.
Up the tires of WA a little bit. Current trends. I'm sure. Imagine the trends with a. Actually, write that down to talk to him about. I'm really interested because with an open season that's so short, do they have time to get caught up in current trends, or is it just when demersal season comes around, it's so short and sharp, you just go back and do what you did, last year?
So I can somewhat answer that, being given that I've got, as you know, looking after some buying at Anaconda ads. We got 12 stores over there. They are the greatest group of stores. Like, they are so proactive, and mate, they're you sort of think in a way, they're probably a few years behind, just getting on the trend. Mate, they are trendsetters for the most. Like, there are brands that hit the market here that have already been selling through in WA. They're on top of it.
So when they say, well, we just had the demersal season open, so they will go out there with some new stuff to try. Do you sort of understand what I'm saying? Like, there's such a short window.
But they're prepping and they're buying that stuff in the off season. So, so they're setting themselves so that the minute it's all open, they can go and have a crack. They're ready. They've done their homework. Yeah.
Interesting.
So, but again, that's my perspective. Obviously, anyone listening from WA, like I said, there's definitely a few people. We get some messages. Reach out. Just tell us your mindset through the low and high season, so to speak.
Yeah, and it'd be be specific. If you've been hanging for demersal season to open, what are you going armed with? Because I absolutely know nothing about it. Zero. I couldn't know less about it. I'd love to know. I'd love to learn. What are you going armed with for the opening of the demersal season? I love that.
Yeah. All right.
I'm genuinely interested. I know nothing
Because you could say the same, and this is maybe a question for another time, but like, how much time do you put into thinking about trout season here in Victoria or New South Wales when it's closed? Because I kind of don't really think about it at all.
Don't think about it
And
at
don't get me
all.
wrong, I'm not a die-hard trout fisher, but I as soon as the season opens, I love to get out and hit a river or something.
Yeah.
It's not
That's
on
a
my
good
mind
question.
when
Yeah,
it's
it's a good point. Yeah, no, you're right though. It's not. It's not at all.
But also, it's not as exciting as jigging for jewfish. You know what I mean?
True. A little bit more accessible.
No offense, trout.
Trout.
Yeah. Well, speaking of getting prepared and what are you going in armed with, ads. I hate to shock you with this, but it is time to reveal our monthly resolutions for April. It's wild because I feel like we've just done March. Now, we did touch on March because I ticked mine off.
Yeah, fuck.
How you going?
Oh, mate, I'm not going. I had a crack on the weekend. I did everything by the book.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get a fish, let alone anything close to 40. But it's okay.
That's okay. You do have time. And just to I suppose let's just go back through what this is. So people might be just tuning in. So monthly resolutions. So start of the year, everyone talks about, New Year's resolutions and all that bullshit. We went, no, fuck that. Let's up the ante and go monthly. Don't just give yourself one challenge. You've got one whole year to finish one challenge. No.
Yeah.
So each month from Feb, because Jan was a write-off, let's be honest, we are dropping a new monthly resolution. But we do have the whole year to finish it. So you've nominated Meet a Barra.
Probably a poor choice.
To
give some context, I was doing a barra trip in February.
Well, you've got 12 months to finish it, but no, you don't. You've got 10 months to finish it, but you've given yourself a 5-day window. So
yeah, and it wasn't just a barra; it was a Meet a Barra.
Yeah, Meet a Barra. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
So we both still haven't ticked it, but it's still there, ads. So
it's still there.
It's still there. You might be back there. In fact, I think you should be. I think you want to be.
Yeah.
March we nominated, and I wanted to catch estuary perch on a popper, which I've done.
Cup face popper.
You were wanting to wrangle a 40-centimetre brim
out of a local here that's typically pretty tough.
Tough, yeah. And
again, I'm not setting myself up for success.
No, I feel like you're going to do that one though.
I'll keep trying.
They're all look. Reality is they're all doable. We don't want to set ourselves up complete failure, but we also want to give ourselves a challenge.
It's got to be a challenge.
So we've still got time to tick all them off, but yeah, when this episode goes to air, ads, we're in April, baby.
April. Shit.
So let's go through it. Do you want to kick off? I'm just sort of looking at you. You're looking at me. I'm happy to go through mine if you want.
Go with yours. Listen, I found it tough. Like I got stuck with what to do, and I'm actually gonna. It was one that I was probably thinking of picking later on. Actually, you go yours. Okay. I've got a strategy to mine, so you go.
Okay.
Fuck, I don't know why.
All right. So, ads. This one I've been thinking about a lot. On paper, it might look. I won't say it's certainly not easy, but it might look simpler than it seems. I love fishing for King George whiting on soft plastics.
Yep.
Turtleback worms.
Yep.
My April monthly reso is I want to catch King George whiting on a soft plastic that is not a turtleback worm.
Fuck yes. I love this.
You with me?
I'm with you. Actually, I really love this.
I've already been
reason.
Sort of, coming up with scenarios in my head, and I'm thinking, and I'm going to take the community on the journey. So the Deep Drop community are coming with. I'm thinking I'll go out the next session. I'll start with turtleback worms, just to get my eye in, and then it's time to switch up. And we've done this in the past. You've been with me, and it's resulted in absolute nothing.
Literally, nothing.
So this is a challenge that I am going to be determined to tick off. I reckon I'm going to do a few kayak sessions, just quick, short, sharp sessions, just to see.
Yep.
So
What
anyone out
what
there,
are you thinking? What are you thinking, lure wise?
Yeah.
What's your plan?
I haven't.
Because I love this.
I've tossed around a few ideas, but I haven't landed on what will be my first one or two plastics I'm going to run. But I'm going to open this up to the community, and I'm going to get onto Instagram soon and TikTok, ladies and gentlemen. Tune in, and I want to put the feelers out and get your feedback on that, because the estuary perch on popper thing helped, dads. So I got some feedback. Ended up getting it done on a Bass Day Sugar Pen Splash.
Yep.
And I think I'm going to ask the community for some help here. So jump on socials, flick us a message, or jump on, in the comments when I post that video. I've got a couple of ideas. My mind straight away goes to a worm profile.
Yeah.
But then
Fair.
But then what? And I'm not. And okay, this was also a side note. I'm not going to be using a gulp sandworm. Like I'm
That's
moving
the first
them.
thing. That's the first thing I thought of to tick it off.
Yeah.
That would be the most logical.
But I feel like that's
thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a turtleback worm, and turtleback worms will, in my experience, still outfish those ones pretty significantly.
Yeah. Okay.
But I was kind of thinking just removing that from the equation altogether. I'm not saying completely exclude.
So removing gulp.
Well, I don't know. What do you think? Because I was thinking the sandworms and that profile in gulp, but if I potentially, because one of the products in my head was, I'm not sure whether you're familiar with the gulp salty nipper.
Yes.
Something like that could get it done.
Could. Yeah, could.
But there's a few that I've got in my head juggling around. I'm gonna put it together and put it out on Instagram and TikTok pretty soon, ads. So jump over if you're not familiar with our social pages, Instagram and TikTok, and let us know what your thoughts are.
Yep.
Yeah, but I'm excited
I like
about
it.
this one. Yeah, it's going to be harder than I think because it's
it's a challenge.
Yeah. Anyway, that's
It
where
can be
I'm
done, but it can be done. If you can catch them on turtleback worms, there's got to be something. It's just trying to figure it out.
Yep. Yeah.
Like
it's
it a
going to
lot.
be good. All right, good. What have you got?
Well, it's very interesting that you brought up Australian salmon. Now, you and I haven't spoken about what we're going to do for resolutions. We save that strictly for as it happens on the show. I went down the path of Australian salmon for a number of reasons, which I'll list shortly. But I didn't want to throw it out there this early. But it's a strategic play because I think I'm going to need the time to do it solely because of motivation. Because, Luke, my monthly resolution for April is to get a 2 kilo salmon off the beach.
Yes. You know what makes me so happy about that? You have spent... Okay, this is episode 126. I reckon, without exaggerating, there's been at least 50 episodes where you've mentioned how much you hate the beach. It's so good.
Hence why I'm dropping it now. I was going to wait till June, July.
Oh,
But
winter.
chances are in June... Well, that's the best time
I
to
know
go
it
to
is.
the
I know
beaches.
it is.
But it's not the best time as a human.
So that's what I was thinking.
So I've gone...
2 kilo salmon. So 2 kilo Australian salmon off the beach in
Off the
Victoria.
beach.
So you're not jumping on a plane tomorrow to WA, are you?
Or does it have to be Victoria?
No, I'm saying, is that stated? You need to
No,
state
because
it.
I do travel to
Well,
Merimbula and the South Coast, New South Wales as part
keep
of
it
my
open.
work run.
Don't. Let's not limit this to Victoria.
Because I think I'm going to need to utilise work for this one, because if I have to put in a weekend on the beach, I'm probably not going to enjoy it.
Oh, the
complaining
and moaning will be
It's
priceless.
coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. But I thought, there's that time between that sort of 5, 6 o'clock when I'm on the road in Merimbula and I'm just back in my hotel room where there's not really too much else to do. I could go and have a look around for it. And I've got a plan. I've got lures at which I think could do it, because I am specifically trying to catch something that's 2 kilos plus.
Now, just on that, lures.
Yep.
That's what you're doing it with. You're not chucking a dirty pilchard out.
It's lures.
It's lures thing. No, hey,
If I had to stand on a beach with pilchards, fuck, I would. It's why. Why I've not.
The fact that you've even nominated beach for your place of challenge is mind blowing for me. I thought, hats off to you.
I'm trying to challenge myself.
For most people,
I could go 0 of 11 by the time we get to December.
For most people, they're going salmon off the beach. No, but you've got to factor in Adam's hatred for sand.
For me, it is a big deal.
But 2 kilos, 2 kilos isn't.
That's a good one.
Yeah. It's not a small fish. It's not. It's not a jumbo. But yeah, if you got a 2 kegger,
I feel as though it's achievable.
Yeah, I do too. But I also think 2 kilo salmon off a Victorian beach, central Victorian beach, so sort of, within casting distance from Melbourne, so to speak, is probably not that easy.
No, not like it used to be.
Where you travel, so maybe down towards East Gippsland a bit further, on the south coast of New South Wales, very achievable, but you're just gonna have to deal with sand. So that's
it's an issue.
It adds a kilo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right.
So for someone who loves beach fishing, your challenge will probably be 3 or 4 kilo salmon. But for Adam, it's 2
for
because
me,
there's the sand.
You're lucky it wasn't 1.5 kilos. I thought I'd challenge myself.
I like this. Okay. So are you? I mean, we could talk about lures as well, but you're thinking loading yourself up with an arsenal of medals.
I'm actually not.
Oh, talk to me.
Obviously, I will have medals. It's tried. It's true. They're easy.
Not.
You can cast them an absolute mile in any conditions.
Yeah.
And it was, to be honest, it was a big part of me choosing this as a monthly resolution. I want to have a crack at these 90 to 110 mil weighted minnows.
Yeah, nice.
So they're heavy. They're 25 to 35 grams.
So very castable. Very castable.
That's right. But they're bibbed minnows, so you get that more lifelike, I guess, actual baitfish minnow, which I think could come into play if you're casting for a big one.
Yep, huge. And these are shallow divers.
They're
shallow
divers, shallow divers, but they're very heavy, and the heavy is for castability, not necessarily to get them to dive to 10 meters or whatever.
Okay. Well, we might shout out to people that want to jump on Instagram, TikTok. You might have to do a little run through of the gear you're thinking, Ads, because I'd like to see your lure, selection for these challenges. Now we know that'll chop and change. You might find yourself in a situation where there's a gutter quite close, especially up that south coast of New South Wales, and you might chuck a plackie around. Who knows?
Well, if I do, and I'll only do that if I spot them in close. I've got a couple of spots I'm thinking of where I could go down the plastic thing, but I don't know. I kind of want to kick it old school and just take a 9-foot slug chucker and a 4,000 reel and just try and cast to the other side of the world and cover plenty of water. But I would like to muck around a little bit with those casting hard bodies, not just a 40 to 50 gram metal slug.
Love it. All right. Well, I think there's a couple of challenges there that would be interesting to follow along with. I'm keen to see your feet on the sand, mate. I think it'll be a good one.
You'll hear about it every time I do, Luke. Trust me.
I reckon
lots of swear words.
Yeah, I reckon
Get the dump button ready.
We're all going to hear about it. Mm-hmm. So there's our monthly resos for April. Very good. I'm very Oh,
yeah, how you going? Just me.
Oh, what are you doing here, mate?
Well, just wanted to drop in and run a few things past you guys. A few ideas I've been having.
Yeah, but we're recording right now. Like we're literally in the middle of an episode.
Just go with me here. Just let me put these on the table.
All right. What have you got? If you've got something, let's just do it because we want to get on with the episode. So what do you got for us?
Well, as you know, I interviewed down at Casey Radio there, and just a couple of things they did that I quite liked, and one in particular was no drinks in the studio. I think we should implement that here in the Deep Drop Studios.
Hang on, mate. I mean, that's firstly, we're okay. When Ads, you don't have a shaky hand. You should be okay. But
the obvious thing, we have a segment called Drink of the Week.
I don't think it's going to be a major issue. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I think we're okay for drinks in the studio.
All right, just a suggestion. Well, another idea, I reckon you should get like a fishing photographer on the show. You can talk a bit about how to take a good fucking photo. Apparently it's hard to do these days.
Well, actually, that's not a bad point. I mean, it'd probably be good to hear from someone, I suppose, who's a good photographer, Ads.
Oh, well, I think it would be just a logical topic to talk about images on an audio-based platform. It makes perfect sense.
But why are you suggesting we should get a photographer?
Because I reckon the shit that I've seen float around lately is crap.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Fair enough. Well, we'll look into it. What else you got? Quick, come on.
A fly fishing segment for the deep drop.
All right.
Well,
I think I know what's going on here. But anyway, continue.
I can't see that that's going to be a permanent segment moving forward, Adam. I don't know if that's just a flat-out piss take or that is your genuine suggestion, but no, it's just no. Straight away, no. Put a line through that. Next.
All right, last one. But go with me on this. I've been thinking about this quite a bit. What about for a segment, top 6, and you just go pick your top 6 things, just random things.
Hey, what do you mean? You're clearly not listening to the show.
Yeah, I've heard it.
We literally have a top 6 segment at the end of every episode, and have done since the first episode of the year ads.
Yeah, so it's great to know you've listened to the end. It's and not been on social media at all since January, because it is also something that we cover all over socials, every platform, there is, or the main ones anyway.
I haven't seen it, to be honest.
All right, listen, thank you. We appreciate you. Can we get on with it? Because we, like I said, we're halfway through the show. Thank you for your feedback and input.
Yeah, no worries. Listen, it's a new me, new leaf.
Okay, righto.
Let's get at it.
Mate. Thank you. Whew, okay, that was just weird, and it sort of.
Is this going to work?
I don't. Let's just give it a minute. Let's just give it. Let's just.
I set them all for second chances,
I know.
but for fuck's sake.
I know. Yeah, we'll just roll with it. It's a bit of a handbrake, though, isn't it? Like, what were we talking about?
A little bit. I mean, no drinks in the studio, and we have a segment based around drinks.
It's going to make drink of the week pretty hard. Yeah. Anyway, all right, let's move on. Thank you. Yeah, you're still out there waving through the window.
Thanks, but no thanks.
Thanks, mate.
On your bike, mate.
You just waved to me, not you.
Yeah, I didn't look at me once. I'm surprised one of his changes wasn't getting a co-host again, going down that old road again.
Yeah, he's pushed that pretty hard, but yeah. I finished the drink, by the way.
Have you?
Yeah.
Went down all right?
I could do another one, but I've only got one.
Yeah. Luke, after we were most rudely interrupted by some shit suggestions from management, I was actually going to get into something that sort of piqued my interest over the last week. I went down the rabbit hole of thinking about charter boats. Don't know why. Just one of those random thoughts.
Starting your own?
No, well, we are in the change of season. Fuck no. Has anyone been keeping up to date with the monthly resolutions? Probably the last person that should be on a charter boat right now.
Yeah.
But I thought, we are in the change of season, and we are going to go down that road in Victoria where fishing gets pretty tough. And the most desirable species probably aren't the ones that people are lining up for to book a charter for. So I thought, it's been such a long time since I've been on a charter.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you when I was on a charter last.
What are your expectations as someone paying for a spot on a charter boat? Because they're not cheap. And listen, it's not about, this has got nothing to do with money or price, because I think with how expensive everything is, from bait to fuel to time in general, I think the pricing's pretty reasonable. But what do you expect, Luke, if you were to go and book a charter boat tomorrow?
Yeah.
Irrelevant, doesn't matter the species.
Yeah.
But just you're thinking about jumping on a charter. What are your expectations from your days fishing on a charter boat? And I'm getting to an overall point, but we'll start with that.
Okay. I mean, the obvious choice, or the obvious answer, is to catch a fish. You know?
Fish?
Well, for starters, yeah. Ideally, you have a ball and catch as many fish as you want, but even the people who never fish in their life know that that's always a risk of not happening. But certainly to catch a fish, depending on what it is, like if we're talking some sort of game fish or big, that sort of thing, I think certainly you're happy with one. If you're talking something a bit more inshore and getting a feed, I'm certain that you'd be expecting a few. Because
I feel as though in Vic, it is the hardest job in the world
In Victoria.
in Victoria, and I think it would be a million times harder than anywhere else in the country, because take our most prized species as Victorians. Snapper. You just don't go and catch them. And there can be so many variables on why you won't catch them. And the season's relatively short in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
Whether that be the migratory run, water temps, or just anglers' interest. You couldn't tell me right now, as we go into April, that there's too many charter boats that have done many snapper trips over the last 8 weeks. Where there still has been some pretty good snapper fishing, especially in Port Phillip Bay. So, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I do. I think a lot of this comes down to choosing the right, like what, because I suppose, and again, speaking in Victoria, like there's got to be the right thing to go and put customers onto as well. So if snapper's not it, don't probably advertise snapper charter, would be my suggestion.
yeah,
And the
but
reason I say you expectation should be a fish or a few fish or whatever, when you think about charter and you think about if you hire someone to take you sightseeing, you want to fucking see what you're paying to see. Do you know what I mean?
Fair call.
And I know it's fishing, so nothing's guaranteed, but bare minimum would be catching a fish, surely, as an expectation.
So if you jump on a charter and book the time and, the operator's like, we're in season, everything's looking pretty good,
Yeah.
yada, yada, yada. If you don't catch one, should there be some sort of gentlemanly exchange, unwritten rule, if you will, about some sort of discount or reimbursement for not catching?
Wow. It's an interesting... I don't know if that... I mean, I'd be interested to know if there is such a thing that happens already. Like, I don't know if there's agreements or there's reimbursements, so to speak, or not. But it's an interesting point, isn't it?
And I can think of some reasons why you would and why you wouldn't. I don't think there is a right answer, because your first natural instinct is to go, yeah, of course. You're paying good money for a professional to take you out fishing to catch whatever species it is that you would want to be targeting, or just catching a fish. So I kind of get it. But on the flip side of that, if you were a charter boat operator and you took a group out and you smashed the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking, the snapper went ballistic.
Bonkers, yeah.
Everybody got 15. They're all between 3 and 6 kilos, and there might be a donkey 8 in it.
Yep.
Has the charter boat operator got the right to ask for more money?
No shit. No way.
Because they churned through more bait?
No.
So would it be fair to ask for a little bit of cash back for catching nothing?
Oh, I think that's more reasonable than asking for more for catching heaps.
But it's kind of the same.
Is it? It's kind of like... I mean, I guess if you did that consistently, you could just up your rates. I think it's rich to, at the end of the day, go, by the way,
or
you're going to have to chuck us a couple hundred more.
Actually, no, that couldn't work. No one would go with you.
Imagine going to a basketball game, Ads. You're a basketball fan. You go to Madison Square Garden and watch the Knicks play the Celtics.
Yep.
And it goes into triple overtime. It's just an epic game. One of the greatest game in the history of NBA basketball. Mm-hmm. Imagine they come to you as you're walking out the gate going, you need to sling us another 100 because that was so fucking good. You're going to go, no, mate, and just run off, aren't you? They're just waiting at the gates in reverse. So it's like reverse. You got to go through the ticket booth to get out. Okay, you got to sling us another 100. It was that good of a game. Nah, I can't have that. You'd be doing the old You'd be doing the old runner.
Could you imagine? How many punters do you reckon would catch 3 each and go, can we go in now? We're over it.
Yeah, well,
Just to
maybe.
save himself some cash.
If you, my opinion, if you have even thought that way, if you are a charter operator, then okay, no. But that doesn't answer your question about donating.
So what happens when you catch nothing? Because listen, it's fishing, and
Yeah.
when they don't want to chew, they don't want to chew. And the charter boat operators are like NBA players. There's really good ones. There's the best in the business.
Yeah.
And the worst ones are still better than you and I will ever be. They're on the water every day of the week.
Yeah. There's LeBron and there's Ben Simmons.
Correct. Probably both earning similar money.
But reality is, one of them's going to score 40,
fishing.
the other one's going to
And one of them's lucky to play 40 games a year.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know. I mean, it's so easy for us to sit here and have opinions on it. I mean, I don't expect it, but if there is anyone listening who's either a charter operator or close to someone who has got some insight, I'd love to hear it. Nothing. There's no right or wrong. It's curiosity here.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know.
And we're not talking a freebie. Freebies don't exist these days, and nor should they. It costs really good money and a lot of money to run a charter boat. We're not saying if you catch nothing, you should be up for a full refund. That's not how it works. But
I think if you and I were on a boat, ads, we're probably the sort of people who would just go, shit happens, move on. We wouldn't. But there would be people out there who would probably demand a bit of a refund, whether it be entire or part of.
Which I think is 100% unreasonable.
Yeah. These boats cost.
In my opinion, I think it's massively unreasonable. You would be disappointed going on a charter boat not catching anything, but I think it's unreasonable to ask for any sort of.
The only thing that I would get shitty about as a customer, right, as a paying customer, and you just had a shit day, caught fuck all, or you'd snap a fishing and one person caught an undersized flathead and that was it for the day.
Yeah, I
would get annoyed if on the way in the charter boat justifies it by saying, shit tides, moon phase wrong, weather's not good enough. Because then I would go, well, why the fuck did you take us out?
Okay, so this is a different part of it, because everything you just listed can be reasons, I guess, on why fishing's tough. It's 100%. Proven,
but if you are advertising a service and you know that they're going to be the toughest, don't make that available.
And I would tend to agree with.
So
but then again, as a charter boat operator, where you're already at the mercy of weather, so you can write off. I don't know, but you can write off half the year straight away.
But how?
We get to October, November. The snapper season could be the greatest snapper season. Or actually, let's not talk snapper for a sec. You get to January, February, and it could be the greatest whiting season you've ever seen. Now, a genuine species where every angler can catch 10 on any given day. If it blows its ass off for the vast majority of February, there's no work.
No, I get it, but yeah, I have been, and I only just remembered this now that we're talking about this. A million years ago, another lifetime ago, I was doing some advertorials for some charter boats.
Yep.
And I was on a boat in New South Wales, and the skipper was chatting to him, getting some details, putting together a thing, and went out for the day with him. And he said, it's going to be tough. Tides are wrong and the moons are shit. No, not moons. Tides are wrong and something. I can't remember what else it was.
Yeah.
And even then, didn't really think much of it until later, and I was writing up the thing, and obviously didn't write that, but I thought, that's a bit shit. If that's the case, why are you fishing that time of day? As a paying customer, you would rather they say, because when you think about it, a lot of charters will just be, we leave the wharf at 7 a.m. and come back at 1 p.m. or whatever. Yeah. Wouldn't you rather they go, listen, the best tides is if we can throw ropes at the jetty at 4:30 a.m. and be back by 11 a.m., you'd go, fuck yeah, that's what we're doing. That's fishing. That's what we're going to do. So that, yeah, again, easy for me to say. My money's not on the line. It's a very costly exercise running a charter boat.
Bloody oath.
But
pressure's on.
Yeah, and I would think that, and then these guys will guys and girls that run these organisations will absolutely put their customers with the best possible chance of catching fish. So if, they're a 6-1, 7-1 block and the tide's not great, they'll go somewhere where it is typically. So,
this is all. I think this is also a deciding factor on the end game satisfaction for anyone that's on it. So you can go and jump on a charter boat at 7:30 in the morning and, you don't know, but tides are shit and moon's shit and it's going to be pretty hard anyway.
But you don't know.
You don't know. But if you went and you're on a half-day charter, so 6 hours, whatever, and you pull up and you might fish 2 spots, maybe 3 spots the whole time, and you get fuck all. But the charter boat next year went and did the same hours, still caught fuck all, but moved 10, 12 times going, this is not working, it's got to be here, it's got to be here. Would you be more satisfied knowing you made
more effort,
more moves, or if you just picked, you just on the three spots going, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen here, and you believe your charter boat operator? Or
I think you'd be more appreciative of moves because it's more effort, isn't it? They're trying. The guy is on the boat that's on 3 spots is going, can't be bothered.
This is going to be shit.
Anyone want a beer? Anyone bring beers? Who's got beers? Yeah, don't know. It's a tricky one to navigate.
It's so tough.
It is it's an interesting one. But back to your original question, I'd be curious to know what everyone else thinks about what are your expectations on a charter boat. What are your charter boat expectations?
It's almost got to be species.
Yeah, specific. For sure.
Because if I booked a whiting charter and got 1 whiting, I'd probably be pretty disappointed.
Oh, 100%. If
I booked a snapper charter and there was 2 snapper caught, you're like, okay, it was tough, but I saw a couple of snapper.
Still shit. I think if you
if they were like 4 kilo fish, if they were 40 centimetre pinkies, so you give
if you did I'm assuming, I don't even know if they do this. I'm assuming they do. If you did a marlin charter, 3, you, me, and another mate, and
management.
1 fish was caught. Me, you, and management. Fucking hell, he wouldn't come back.
Only 2 of us had come back.
And the skipper and the decky or whatever.
Yeah.
But three paying customers, right? So it's us, and we're mates. 1 fish was tagged and released. Absolute success.
Yes.
Regardless of who winds it in, even if not management, but if it was you.
Right. Okay. What about this though? Same scenario, but you're on the boat with 2 randoms that you don't know.
That's tricky.
Still a success?
Don't book it. Wait until you got 2 mates to go with.
Yeah. Fair.
I mean, it would be more of a success than seeing 2 snapper brought in.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Because at least you've seen. Yeah. That's a tricky one. But who's booking a boat on that? Like, who's doing that?
Yeah, you wouldn't think too.
People probably do. Being me.
Well, how many people do you think would be down at, say, they're down at Merimbula or Eden or Burmy or whatever for the holidays, and they're like, oh, fuck, there's a few marlin coming in. I'll jump on a charter, but I might just be.
Yeah. Oh, we've got 1 spot left on Monday morning. Yeah, I'll jump on that. Yeah. Yeah, righto. Oh, it's with a couple. Yeah, no, that's fine. I'll jump on. That's fine.
Yeah.
You don't touch.
Someone's going to be pissed.
Someone's not touching a reel.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe, but reality is like you're not bagging out on marlin often. That's it. Yeah, there's so many scenarios, so it's hard to just sort of blanket approach it. But I think just in general, and you can pick a species if you want, but shout out to the community. What are your charter boat expectations?
Yeah.
Good one, Ads.
If you were to book a charter boat, what do you expect? Catch wise, we're talking.
Yeah. Not food and drink and stuff.
No, just fish. We're fishing.
Yeah, that's another conversation. There's some horror stories of some of those liverboards, by the way.
Oh,
go into that. Anyway,
never done a liverboard.
No, and some of the stories I've heard don't really want to. All right, good. Well, that's good. It's that's a good one. So keep your eye out. Get in touch over socials and let us know what you think. Adam, not even going to talk much to this. Just going to do this.
The deep drop.
Top 6. That's a big statement right there. What an intro. Like,
Still
happy
play
with
air
it?
guitar to it.
yeah, I know.
Not
Love
sure
it.
why I developed a stutter in it, but anyway.
It's become, and not only have you started in that particular bit of audio, it's now part of a great sting that we use in the show every week.
Yeah, so it's kind
Highlighted.
of mixed emotions every time it comes on. Forgot
Bit of-
how to speak, but it's pretty catchy.
And it's got reverb, so it sounds cool.
Yeah, so it's okay.
Top 6 ads. It's something we love to do, and this week is no exception. Massive shout out, because this is the first top 6 that we've done from memory ads where it is a suggestion from a listener, from part of
Yes.
the community, if you will.
Yep.
Shout out to Lou. Lou reached out and she wanted to know, Adam. Well, she wanted to put forward that we should bring up the top 6 toasties.
What a top 6.
I mean, right?
And I'm genuinely excited by this because there is some unbelievable toasties. I think you might be surprised at the potential simplicity of the ones that I've got on,
Yeah.
because when I think toasties, there's two things that come to mind. One, being a kid. We all grew up with a jaffle maker or,
Yeah.
with the... And the other
Breville
thing is...
was the brand, wasn't it? Breville?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
George
Oh,
Foreman
mate.
might have done one at one point.
How many ulcers do you think you've had in your mouth?
Oh,
you've
top
burnt
roof of the mouth.
absolute
Oh.
shit out of it,
Mate,
biting into a jaffle that was just, you thought was okay.
yeah. But often the bite wasn't, often the burn wasn't from the initial bite. It was the one, the second and third bite. Like, you didn't learn from the first one. You kept
Yeah,
going.
with a Senate. Yeah, that's right. But the second part of the fond memories of a toasty are when you develop into adulthood and you've got kids of your own. And you get home from a training and the last thing that you can be bothered doing is cooking anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's toasties.
It's toasties. And no one complains.
No.
No one complains. So, Adam, I'm going to throw to you to kick off tonight the top 6 toasties, please.
I'm going with my all-time favourite. So, number 1, cheese and tomato.
Cheese and tomato.
Now, not just cheese and tomato. Little bit of salt, not too much. It's important. But you need to hammer the shit out of the cracked pepper on it. I want crunch from the black pepper. There's that much on it.
All right.
The thought of it makes me instantly hungry.
Yeah.
Just a classic cheese and tomato toasty.
Cheese and tomato. Okay. Well, I think, listen, there might be some funkier ones as we go, but we can't do this top 6 without number 2, cheese.
Yes.
Cheese toasty.
It was on my list, Luke. Yep.
You can't think or fathom a reason that a cheese toasty is not good. It's good for everything.
Yeah. Now, do you get creative with the types of cheese?
Nah,
Just a standard tasty?
tasty's fine.
Bit of
Mozzarella's
Colby?
fine. Yeah. Well, yeah. I was going to say another one, but you're not allowed to say that anymore. And it wasn't shredded either, was it? It was blocks.
Blocks. Is there anything shitter than trying to cut a block of cheese with a knife?
When you're hungover, a toastie's all right. There's not
Yeah.
many things that are okay. Maybe
Yeah.
salada biscuits and and a fruit and a,
Powerade.
and a Powerade. But a toastie's okay for that. You get to that point in that hangover where you go, I'm going to eat something.
I've got to
It's
try.
gonna
Yeah,
be
I've
a
got
cheese
to,
toasty.
I've got to put something in there. Yeah.
So if you go to the fridge and realise there's no shredded cheese, you've got to shred it yourself.
You're almost not having a toasty.
You're not having a toast. You're probably just having bread.
Yeah, that's toast. And there's
Yeah.
there is a difference between loading your toasty with shredded cheese and just cut cheese.
Nah, fuck that. No.
It's shit.
Yeah. All right.
I agree. All right.
And also just shout out Lou. That was one of Lou's favourites too. Just the
cheese?
toasty. Yeah.
Nice. It's a solid choice. Can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong with it. Okay.
Number 3, baked beans.
Oh, yeah.
A baked bean filled jaffle. You know, the ones that like encloses. Now that's a like roof burner.
That's one you got to be careful.
You'll leave a baked bean jaffle for half an hour and that thing will still melt your face. You've got to be real careful. But it's a classic.
Are you a cut and leave for a bit for something like that?
Ooh,
Slice it. You got
depending on what it is. If it's more your traditional toasty, yes,
in a sandwich press.
Yep, I'll just cut and leave. If it's a jaffle, I'll kind of because it
Because a jaffle's got some body on it.
That's right, and it's sort of printed into triangles by default.
Yeah, true.
I'll grab the corners and just give it a little pinch just to split the seam a little bit and let some of the steam out. Because I've been scolded like too many times.
I was going to say, do you just pierce it with a knife or something on the top because they bubble up and that the corners just nibbling onto the when you start eating
dense, little bit of char. Oh, stop it!
I love it. All right, I had one of these recently. We've got a great toasty cafe downstairs at work. Oh,
nice.
Yeah, it's bad, like good, but
yeah.
They use good bread too. You know what I'm saying?
It's key. It's got to be thick cut.
Heaps of butter. Fucking lather that. It's like it's been dipped in a fucking tub of butter before it goes on the sandwich press. And this is like genuinely one of my favourites, and they do it so well. So number 4, it's a chicken honey mustard spinach arrangement.
Ooh, okay, we're getting gourmet.
Yeah, it's a little bit gourmet. That's all right.
That's okay. No, I'm in 100% support. It sounds tasty.
Yeah, and they're nice and thick. I think for me, and look, straight off the bat, there might be a couple of other little ingredients in there, but for me, it's all about that chicken and that honey mustard that's lathered in there, nice and thick, and the spinach just garnishes it just magnificently. And it's very doable. It's not that gourmet. You could grab it.
You can definitely make it.
Yeah. So I love a bit of chicken. Like it's not something that we often probably talk about with a toasty, but a nice bit of chicken in there, and thank you very much.
Like it. Like it a lot. In at number 5, bacon and egg toasty.
Bacon and egg toasty?
Now, this is not just a breakfast special. This brings back insane memories for me. This is a Sunday night. Can't be bothered cooking anything. And mum and dad would announce we're having breakfast for dinner.
This is where we're different. I would have gone for the cornflakes.
Yeah, we smashed out bacon and egg toasties.
Yeah, well, so hang on. But you're still cooking the bacon and egg first though, aren't you?
Yes. Well, depending on how you like your eggs.
Oh, okay, so you could... yeah, okay.
Oh, no, because it'd go a bit shit. No, I would...
There's a bit of pre-cooking.
Well, yeah, definitely. Because no one likes soggy bacon.
No,
she's got to have a bit of... Yeah. Correct. She's got to have a bit of crispness. Now,
and again, bit of char.
Correct. What's your preference for egg? Do you want to bite into your bacon and egg toasty and the thing explodes and runs everywhere? Or you going scrambled?
Oh, nah. Nah. Oh, well, I'm not opposed to scrambled, but no, I'd just give me a fried egg in there. Bang. Yeah.
Good choice.
I'm happy to bite into it and just feel it.
Burn your fucking chin.
Yeah, but as it dribbles down. But you prep for that too, right? You know that there's every chance this thing's going down your t-shirt.
Yep. So you're leaning. Awkward lean.
Yeah, but it's if we're all friends here. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. No judgment. Zero judgment.
No. So I like that bacon and eggs toasty.
Are you a cheese on your bacon and egg toasty, man?
I've never had a bacon and egg toasty.
Oh, mate.
But do you put cheese on it? I don't feel like you'd need to. Or do you need to just for a bit of like adhesive?
No.
Sort of no. Okay. I'm going to try it. I'm going to do it. I think my kids would like that. The boys would love it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I'm going to round out this top 6 ads a bit left of field. Now, this one is a bit of a throwback to growing up camping, and probably done it recently with the kids too. And it's a toasty in the sweet variety.
Ooh.
So number 6 is the banana and choc chip toasty.
Talk me through it. Never had one.
Okay. Very similar scenario, whether it's jaffle or sandwich press. But these, like I said, this is camping, so a lot of these are in the jaffle irons on the coals, which, I don't know, it adds to it.
Yeah, it does.
It's simply a spread of banana, like a thick.
Spread, like you're mashing that
so
mash it, pasting it on. Yep.
Yeah, mash it up. Pasting it on in a nice thick, on both sides. So don't just be doing one side.
Nice.
Yeah. So internally it's got it, yeah. And then you're simply placing choc chips. So the choc chips that you could buy in a supermarket or something like that in a packet. So there's not much to it.
Sounds alright.
But when that shit hits the hot coals ads, yeah.
Get a bit of chocolate meltage throughout the nana.
Oh yeah. It combines.
I like it.
And if you just dive straight in that because the smell is insatiable, then you're every chance of third degree burns on the chin. But it's worth it. It's so worth it. So I'm rounding out with a banana and choc chip.
Like that. Never had one.
Sweet toasty. No,
I might try that this weekend.
Well, I think I'll try the bacon and egg toasty. You try the banana and choc chip one.
Done.
All right, good. Well, I mean, that's our top 6 toasties. Thank you very much for the suggestion. Shout out to Lou. I think it's a great one. I'm all of a sudden starving. I don't know about you.
Yeah,
I'm really hungry.
Yeah, I'm already planning the banana and choc chip. All right.
Give it a go.
Okay.
Yeah, don't knock it until you've tried it.
I'm excited about it. I want to try it.
Yeah, I appreciate your openness towards it. Let us know. Is there one there? What's your go-to toasty?
Yeah,
community? Reach out. What have we missed?
I feel as though there's an absolute OG basic that didn't make our top 6.
I think I've just thought of it.
The ham, cheese, and tomato.
That's what I just realised. That as you said that, I went, "What have we done?"
And I purposely opted for the cheese and tomato. I didn't forget the ham. I do like ham.
I'll be straight up. Well, in my adult life, so maybe as a kid, but I can't remember ever having just a cheese and tomato toasty.
Oh, mate, I live on them. Lived on them.
Just get some ham in there, mate.
Yeah, I don't know. I like I said, I like ham.
Try some of the thick ham.
I just feel as though sometimes it can overpower
Bit hammy.
the goodness of just the cheese and tomato. But do you know what is awesome?
How many slices of tomato are you doing on a standard sort of loaf of bread slice?
Well, if you're rocking just your standard Coles or Woolies vine ripened
Wonder
tomato,
White,
because they've got to be off the vines.
Yeah.
Don't get the other shit.
Not gourmet.
Watery. Oh, no. If you got one of them, I reckon I'm a 3 or 4 slice man.
Okay, so a solid layer of tomato.
But you get those big, like, fuck off, real gourmet tomatoes. Like, they're huge. A nice, semi-thick, not thin. Oof, that's probably my favourite.
Because they're, for me, the thing, and I love a tomato and a toasty, but they are the things that burn the shit out of me.
And they stay hot forever.
And they also, like, if you can't, for some reason, your teeth can't pierce through them. So they drag all of the way out. And it quite often slaps you on the chin or even...
It's a trap for young players.
Oh, mate. It's a trap for old players. So, anyway, this is great. Oh, mate, I'm getting... this could be the next... we might open up the Deep Drop cookbook. Oh, we could put together a cookbook.
Oh.
Toasties, raspberry Mars bars.
Yep.
Powerades.
Barbecue shapes.
Barbecue shapes. Anyway, all right. Well, I mean, that's us. That's a good top 6. I like that.
Another solid top 6.
Thank you very much, everyone, for the drink suggestions. We've got plenty of now in the back catalogue that we need to get onto.
I got through my fruit tingle.
Yeah, how was it?
It was good. I feel a bit
tingly
sugared out.
Yeah, okay.
She's a sweet drop.
She's a sweet one. Seasonal celebrations, WA. Unite, celebrate. What a time to be in WA. Please drop us a line if you're in Western Australia right now listening to this. How are you feeling? What's happening? What's your plan for the next couple of months with the demersal lift? And obviously these salmon just...
So thick you can walk on them. You can ride them.
Love it. Monthly rezos. That's exciting.
Fuck, I've got some work to do.
Adam, you're catching a 2-kilo salmon from the sand.
Yep.
I am catching a King George whiting on a soft plastic that is not a turtleback worm.
Nice.
So, which I'm already struggling with.
Yeah, good luck.
So thank you very much, everyone, and let us also let us know what your charter boat expectations are. That was another good topic.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing that up, Ads. And of course, top 6. Did we miss out on a toasty? What's your pick of the top 6? And
I feel as though this could be one of our more controversial ones. I feel as though there's going to be some banger toasties that we didn't add.
Yeah.
Please let us know what they are.
We're going to get
very interested.
We're going to get trolled for lack of ham in this top 6.
Yeah,
there's no ham in it. There's no ham at all in this top 6.
None at all.
Now I look at it.
Yeah, that's probably a mistake on our behalf.
What have we gone and done? That's what happens.
What do you
We'll
take
live
out?
by the sword. Yeah. We'll live by that. Well, I would add ham to your number 1, cheese and tomato, but that's just me.
Yeah.
All right. That's us. Thank you, everyone. We'll chat to you all really soon. Thanks, Ads.
Peace.